So, just heads up, if you want the extended audio version of this podcast, there'll be a link in the description. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those other kind of podcast apps. So yeah, enjoy the video. So, the Batman. Robert Pattinson was hated for so many years before he was announced in this film. I think the only film that he did that people really got on board with was The Lighthouse. Before that, he hadn't really been in much since Twilight, and people hated him. They were just, we don't want sparkly vampire boy as Batman, but I am so ridiculously hyped for him in this film, and if I'm honest, he's one of the best parts of the Twilight films. I've watched all of them, unfortunately.
You're beautiful.
But the whole, thing about him being cast in this role, it seemed like odd casting at first, but just seeing him as Bruce Wayne, seeing him in the suit, he looks so much like just comic book Batman, it's insane. And the whole kind of vibe of this film seems to be very, not gothic like Tim Burton's Batman, but still kind of like that kind of vibe. And I'm definitely for that. I think that's where they should be going with the Batman character, because the last time we saw Batman on screen was in Justice League, and I fucking hate Ben Affleck's Batman. I like Ben Affleck as an actor. I just think, what the fuck were they thinking? They made him kill people. They just made him, I don't know what Hollywood's obsession is with, depressed superheroes, but they seem to really like it. I get Batman is, depressed because, his parents died and he's all kind of, just kind of cooped up in a cave all the time, but it still just annoys the shit out of me that they continue to make him, kill people and be like that. They did it in the 80s because no one really knew who Batman was then. He wasn't really that mainstream. He was in the Adam West and that was it. No one knew what a dark Batman was. But it's been over 30 years since that film came out. We need to just shift up and make him proper Batman. When Gotham is doing better Batman portrayals than the movies, it's, you've hit a problem. And speaking of Gotham, I think the closest representation to the version of Gotham that we're seeing in Batman is Gotham, the TV show. I think they seem to have very similar kind of vibes of Gotham. I think this version seems a bit darker, but I definitely like the look of it from the trailers, and it does look very Tim Burton-esque. It looks very kind of not unrealistic, but it's just odd, kind of gothic and weird and kind of abstract. And I like the look of it. And that goes the same for the villains. They're definitely very different, at least design-wise, from the comics. Riddler looks like a fucking psycho in a raincoat. It's nothing like the Jim Carrey portrayal of Riddler. It is so drastically different. And as for Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman, the design I'm not a big fan of, but I think it works for this film. At least the kind of vibe the trailer's are giving off. But I don't think we've ever really had a good Catwoman on screen, because Anne Hathaway's Catwoman was just boring. I think the one in Gotham was good for the first few seasons, and Michelle Pfeiffer was
Meow.
But I think that it's also nice to see a different portrayal of the Riddler in live action again, because last time we saw that was in Batman Forever, and as much as I like Jim Carrey's portrayal of Riddler, I think this is a nice shift, and it kind of feels like a more exaggerated, darker version of the one from Gotham, who was a bit darker than any portrayal of Riddler I've seen in like media, because I don't really read many Batman comics. So in Gotham, spoilers for Gotham, he's basically it accidentally turns into a killer. And it's quite a weird storyline, but I think it's nice seeing it's still definitely the Riddler, but it's a cool idea to see him as a like a kind of Zodiac-esque killer. It's a weird choice, but I like it. And as for the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, that is like weird casting, but like surprisingly good casting from what I've seen. Like, it looked really, really interesting. And he's covered in makeup, and he looks nothing like Colin Farrell, but the makeup is insanely good, and the accent that he's put on, because Colin Farrell's Irish, I think, and and the accent he put on is crazy, just like from the few lines he says in the trailers. And I think the final villain's Falcone, but I don't think he's going to be a big part of the film. Falcone isn't ever really a big part of Batman. He's just kind of in the background. I mean, I think in most portrayals of Gotham, he's either killed off quite early or put in Arkham. It's kind of weird. But the leaks I've been hearing hint at another villain being in the film, and is your last chance to kind of turn away. So the leaks that the Joker is going to be in the film, I really hope aren't true, because the actor that they are saying is going to be portraying the Joker is the guy from Eternals. I don't even know the actor's name. I don't remember that character's name. I just know he was in Eternals, and he's Irish. And he looks nothing like any version of the Joker should ever look. Like, I don't want to be that guy, because, like, people said that about Heath Ledger. But, like, Heath Ledger's Joker was essentially just the Joker, but messy. That was just the look. It was just, like, he still had the smile, the green hair, the makeup. It was just smudged, and, like, the suit was dirty. Jared Leto was that kid that turns 18 and gets every tattoo he can possibly get, and then gets his teeth knocked out. And I don't even fucking like Jack Nicholson was probably the most accurate version, and then you've got like Jerome in Gotham and then Jeremiah in Gotham, who are basically the same character, but one's boring. Both really good portrayals of the Joker, by the way, probably my favourite versions. But all the fan art I've seen of this guy as the Joker, it doesn't look very good. I hope that if they do it, it looks cool. I mean, they've definitely got the budget to make it look cool, but I just hope they go for a kind of classic Joker design and don't try and make it look different, because I don't think, like, you can't change the Joker's design. Riddler is an outdated design that needed to be changed. The Riddler, as silly as he looks, can be intimidating in any universe. You just have to get the right actor and the right director, which they definitely have the right director. Matt Reeves, I don't think I've ever seen any of his films, but from what I hear, he is a talented director that definitely deserves to do this. So, if they do the Joker, he's not going to be an integral part of this film, and I just hope they don't fuck it up. But apart from that, there's not really much else to talk about that's been leaked, because all the other things that were leaked have now been announced, like the TV show, the GCPD TV show that's getting released on HBO Max, and other stuff like that. But apart from that, there's not really much else to talk about, besides my own theories and stuff, which I've made a video on. I'll leave a link. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.